many different places today in Rajmandal. So the first place we went to was this Vrishabhanu Cove. What is Vrishabhanu Cove? It is a kunda of Vrishabhanu Mahārāja. So we all went there, we had darshan of this place, we did parikrama, we did achana. So what do these kundas signify? What do these ponds signify? These ponds are not just merely some body of water. If you go over Rajmandal, there are so many different ponds. And actually, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has described in his Rajvilas Stav thousands of ponds. And unfortunately, many of these ponds have concealed themselves, they have hidden themselves from our worldly vision because of Kali Yuga. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that as Kali Yuga advances, and all the pastime places of Rajmandal, they will start to gradually hide themselves. They will gradually become more and more hidden. And Navdeep Dham will become more and more glorious. Yes, but Rajmandal will become more and more hidden. Like even you see Giriraj also. Like once I was speaking to one sannyasi, very senior disciple of Sri Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, very senior sannyasi. So he was telling me that when he would do parikrama of Giriraj in the early 60s, that was when he got initiated, in the early 60s, he used to tell me how high Giriraj was. This was in early 60s. And now he's saying after 50 years have passed, now I'm seeing Giriraj, I'm so surprised to see how Giriraj has reduced in size. He's saying just a matter of 50 years. And it is said that once Giriraj completely disappears from our worldly vision, then Kali Yuga is going to be very terrible age. Therefore, although this Kali Yuga is considered to be the golden Yuga in one way, because Mahaprabhu appeared, Dhanya Kali. But still, even Gurudev, in one of his classes, he was saying that you must get out of this Kali Yuga as quickly as possible, he said. Because he said many of the symptoms that have been described in the Bhagavatam, they're bound to come in this Kali Yuga. He said like very fearsome age this Kali Yuga is. So you must try to do your sadhana bhajan and go to a better place than this. Not waste more and more time in this Kali Yuga. Many symptoms are already being seen that have been described in the Bhagavatam. So in this way, these kundas, what do they signify? You see, if there is a pastime of Radha and Krishna that has taken place in one particular stali, Leela stali, then that pastime melts and takes the form of a kunda. Means if you go to any kunda, if you go to Radha Kund, what is this kunda? Means that prem between Radha and Krishna has melted and taken the form of a kunda. Like Prem Sarovar. No. If you go to Man Sarovar, what does that kunda signify? Radharani is Man. Means this entire pastime is melted and taken the form of that kunda. And so you go to Surya Kunda. So Surya Kunda means when Radha and Krishna, they go to perform their worship. Radharani goes to perform worship of the sun god during the afternoon, during the forenoon. At that time, that Leela has condensed itself and taken the form of this kunda. Therefore, if you go to all these kundas and you sprinkle this water on your head, at least with a little respect, a little faith, and you bathe in these kundas, then it is so auspicious for the sadhak. Because when you bathe in these kundas, when you dip yourself inside them, then from head to toe, from your scalp to your toe, you are completely immersing yourself in these pastimes, in these leelas. If you go to Surya Kund, take a bath there, then all the leelas of Surya Kund are covering you from head to toe. If you go to Vishakha Kund near Uddhav Kyari, then all the pastimes of Vishakha Devi, all the different services she renders to Radha and Krishna will cover you. So many different kundas. Govinda Kund. If you go to Govinda Kund, then all these different leelas. Mahaprabhu himself, he used to bathe there in Govinda Kund. Kaviraj Goswami is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is so many different kundas are present there. So therefore, it is very essential for the sadhak to go and bathe in all these kundas. Why? not like leisurely, not like these kundas are like some swimming pool and that you can swim and do anything you wish like. No, this is not proper. No, you must respect the kunda and then take some water first and then very respectfully bathe. Like if you see in Radha Kund, there is one place, there is one well called Gopi Kuwa. This Gopi Kuwa means Raghunath Das Goswami, every day he would take water from this well, he would draw some water and he would bathe in this well. And then he would go bathe there in Radha Kund. He himself was shown Das Goswami. There he found the tongue, the jiva of Giriraj. He found the tongue of Giriraj in that well and then he placed it elsewhere. And then he stopped taking water from this well. Because he said, oh no, anyhow Giriraj manifested from here, so how can I use this water? Because this water will touch my feet and all the parts of my body, so I cannot. In this way. Therefore, we see some of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, they never bathe in Radha Kund. Prabhupada did say Radha Kund is most worshipful for us. How can I even place my feet there? I cannot. But still, some Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas also, they bathe there. The Gurudev also, he would bathe there. He would encourage others also to bathe there. Because he would say that by bathing here in these kundas, something at least is bound to stick to your heart. Something is bound to stick to your heart. Normally when you have a shower, what happens? All the water goes down the drain. But some drops of water, they cling to your body. Some drops of water, they cling to your body and then you feel refreshed. When you have a shower, when you bathe, when you come out of the bathroom, then you feel really refreshed. Why? Because the water has given you this quality. So therefore, when you go to all these different kundas, you must respectfully offer Dandavat pranams there. And also if you see, these kundas, they contain the foot dust of all the Vaishnavas. So many different Vaishnavas, you can imagine. Any kunda you feel, you go like, so many devotees from so many years, what to speak of years, so many decades, what to speak of decades, so many centuries, they have taken bath in these kundas. If you go to Govinda Kund, then you can imagine, Mahaprabhu himself used to bathe in this kund. And all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas have taken bath in these kundas. So their foot dust is present in these kundas. Can you imagine? And their bodies have been bathed by these kundas. If someone were to come in front of you and place a bottle of the water that has bathed Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur's feet, what will you do? Immediately you take that bottle, you drink it, you sprinkle it on your head. If anyone were to come and say, oh, this is the water that has bathed Bhakti Pragyan Kishore Goswami Mahārāja's lotus feet, what will you do? Hold it tightly to your chest. More valuable than even most priceless treasure. Someone were to come and say, oh, this is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's foot, water that has bathed his feet. Immediately take it. Even to this day, there are some devotees who still have the Charnamrita that has bathed Gurudev's lotus feet. What do? Every day they take a little drop and they mix it with other water so that that Charnamrita doesn't finish. And in this way, they're continuing that supply continuously. So in this way, if you receive that water that has bathed a lotus feet, then immediately you'll be so happy. Sprinkle it on your head. So where can you find that water? You can find it in these kundas, the water that has bathed their feet. Like if you go to the Ganga Nadi in Mayapur, then that Ganga contains the foot dust of not just Prabhupada and all his disciples, contains the foot dust of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all his associates there. The Ganga there in Navadvip Mayapur. The Ganga there can give you gold bread. So that greed you must go and jump, not jump inside, bathe there, take a dip. So the foot dust is present here, all these different Vaishnavas, Guru Varga. If you go to any of these temples, Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Raman, Radha Gopinath, Radha Damodar, Radha Shamsundar, all these ancient temples, Radha Govinda. If you go to all these temples, you can imagine the foot dust of so many devotees is present there. Foot dust of so many Vaishnavas is present there. It's like this entire wealth of their pure devotional service is present there. If you go there, you roll in that dust. How much your spiritual life is being nourished. In this way, you can imagine this Brajmandal is saturated with this prem, with this love of all the devotees. Saturated completely. Now, can you imagine, like if you're walking down the street in your city and you see some Vaishnava with tilak on, with bead bag in his hands, and if you see this Vaishnava, you become so happy. Say, oh, I've seen a Vaishnava walking right in front of me in the street. But here you see, in every street of Brajmandal there are devotees, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, everywhere in Brajmandal. Anywhere you go, someone's chanting. Anywhere you go, someone's dressed in saffron. Anywhere you go, there's sannyasis. So you can imagine how much saturation is present in this Brajmandal. Therefore, you see in Brajmandal, even if you don't want to chant, even if you don't want to do anything, but still there is some unseen power, some unseen influence which will automatically attract your heart, draw your heart. Automatically you feel like going on parikrama, automatically you feel like finishing your rounds. Everything, automatic. You don't even have to force yourself. No, you don't even have to force yourself. Automatic. And I've felt this in my life. I've realized this. Like some months before I went to Delhi. It was some medical procedure. There I saw, I wasn't inspired to do anything. Even when I was healthy, even before the medical procedure, for some hours, I could see that effect of the Dhama, the effect of Hari Guru Vaishnavas was not felt there so much. I could see, I could sense it. But here you see, automatically, just when you enter the border of Braj, you can see that power of those vibes. So this way, when you go to all these different pastime places, you must think how fortunate you are to be in this place. So what is Varsana? Varsana is the pastime place of Sri Krishna's beloved Srimati Radhika. Lying at the heart of this village is a multitude of the divine couple's sweet and secret amorous pastimes, together with their transcendental moods and desires. So Varsana is such a holy place. Varsana. Varsa means what? Means rain, rainfall, downpour. Rainfall of what? Rainfall of Srimati Radhika's mercy. In this place, Varsana, there is this continuous shower of Srimati Radhika's mercy there. If you go to this place, Varsana, then you can see that Radharani's mercy is being showered upon you. Here. This is the place where Radharani was born. So how dear this place must be to Srimati Radhika. In fact, if you see, like many of our acharyas, they did not even stay in Varsana. They would visit Varsana, but they did not have any bhajan kutirs there. If you see Rupa Goswami, he has his bhajan kutir in Terkadam, the place where Radharani, when she would come from Javat to cook in Nandagaon, she would pass through Terkadam. So he had his bhajan kutir there. Sanatana Goswami, he had his bhajan kutir near Pawan Sarovar, in this way. But they did not have any bhajan kutirs in Varsana. Why? Because they were thinking this place is the home of Srimati Radhika. This is where she was born. How can we stay here? And because we staying here, automatically we'll have to reside here, then automatically we might pollute this place. So therefore they never even resided there. Therefore once they asked Gurudev, saying, one person asked Gurudev, saying, oh Gurudev, I want to build one nice temple for you in Varsana. Gurudev said, no, not Varsana, you go Nandagaon. Build a nice temple there in Nandagaon. Radharani is cooking there with all her sakhis and gopis, but not Varsana. But he did not listen. He was still thinking, no, I want to build there. And anyhow, he bought one building there. But then no one stayed there in that building, big building. Everyone left. No one stayed there. No, this is the place of Srimati Radhika's house. So therefore, this place is very high in Brajmandal, very highly regarded. Vishabhanupur. In this way. So Varsana is the pastime place of Sri Krishna's beloved Srimati Radhika. The Vaishnava community reveres Varsana, this venerable land with its lakes, ponds, gardens and flowers such as Ghavarvan, Sakariko and other pastime places remind one of Sri Radha and Krishna's different pastimes. So what happened in Ghavarvan? Ghavarvan means very dense forest. Ghavarvan. So here sometimes we see that Radharani, she's dancing, and Krishna himself takes the foothills to Srimati Radhika. And when he takes the foothills to Srimati Radhika, Krishna loses his blackish complexion and he becomes golden in this place, Kevarman. And then there's also Sakri Kor and other pastime places. Sakri Kor is the narrow passageway, where the gopis, they would pass through that narrow passageway with pots of butter on their heads, one stacked upon another, and then Krishna would tease them, saying, "Oh, give me tax, only then you can pass through." The gopis said, "Who are you to ask us tax?" Krishna would say, "Oh, I'm this and that." The gopis would argue back and forth. So that is Sakri Kor. So in Braj, the grass, small shrubs, creepers, trees, animals, birds, insects, snakes, and so forth are all composed of Satchidananda. Means eternality, spiritual consciousness, and full transcendental bliss. You see here it is mentioned, even snakes in Vrindavan are transcendental. Not the snakes we see by our eyes, but the snakes that take part in Radha and Krishna's pastimes. Even these snakes are transcendental. How? Like an example is given. Once Srimati Radhika, she was in so much man. She was very sulky. So she did not want to meet Krishna, Srimati Radhika. And Krishna was thinking, how can I break this man of my beloved? So then what happened? He saw one snake and he inspired the snake to go in front of Srimati Radhika and to raise its hood. So then what happened? Srimati Radhika, she was walking somewhere and the snake came in front of Srimati Radhika and it started raising its hood this way. Radharani immediately became very scared and she ran towards Krishna where he was. She embraced him. Her man was broken. And so even scorpions also, they also help in Radha and Krishna's leelas. Every insect, every animal in Braj is only reminding Radha and Krishna of their wonderful leelas, pastimes in this way. So therefore, here it is said, they assist Radha and Krishna in their pastimes and they are very dear to them. It is said in the scriptures that even eminent realized souls like Brahma and Shankar repeatedly pray to attain a birth like theirs, so that they too may be able to serve Radha and Krishna. So here you see even Brahma and Lord Shiva, they also desire to be born as insects, as birds, as snakes, as scorpions, as deer in this land of Braj. Even these great gods, so that they can serve Radha and Krishna. Therefore, Raghunath Das Goswami is prayed in his beloved Kusumanjali. Now, Brajvilas thought, what? All the grass, shrubs, insects, and other creatures found in Braj are very dear to Sri Mukunda, and they assist in his pastimes. All the scriptures have repeatedly established this fact, and devotees ranging from Brahma to Uddhav have expressed a desire to take birth in Braj amongst these species. For these reasons, I worship all the creatures who reside in Brajmanda. So Varsana's original name is Vrishabhanupur. Vrishabhanu Mahārāja, the father of Srimati Radhika, he lived here with his family. Varsana is situated 14 miles west of Govardhan and 6 miles east of Kamyavan. According to the Varaha and Padma Purans, Brahma pleased Sri Hari at the end of Satyuga. So then Sri Hari asked Brahma, what boon do you want? So he said, please perform your sweet pastimes with the Vrajagopis on my very farm and allow me to behold these leelas. Please make my life blessed by especially performing swing pastimes in the rainy season and by performing Holi in spring. So you see in Varsana, there's one festival which is very celebrated, is Jhulan Yatra. Why? Because during this Jhulan Yatra, Srimati Radhika, she is in Jawad with her in-laws. And at that time, Sri Dhama, he brings so many gifts. Vrishabhanu Maharaj sends so many gifts to Sri Dhama, saying, go and bring your younger sister here. So then Sri Dhama, he brings like so many full bullock carts full of so many different gifts. And Jatila, when she sees all these gifts, she becomes very excited. Then, anyhow, she sends Radharani away, saying, Radharani, no go. Radhe, go, you can return to your father's house for some time. And then when Radharani returns to where? To Varsana from Jawad, then she's weeping so much. She's looking at her elder brother. Sri Dhama. And she's saying, where were you all these days? I was waiting for you, waiting. When will my elder brother come and take me back home? When will he come and take me back home? But you didn't come all these days. And anyhow, Sri Dhama, he says, so what can I do? There was some delay. So then anyhow, he takes Srimati Radhika back. And then what happens in Barsana? Srimati Radhika, she's seated on a swing. She's swung very high, up and down by all her Sakhis. And sometimes Krishna, he also comes there. And he swings Srimati Radhika. And sometimes he sits alongside Srimati Radhika and the Sakhis swing them. And sometimes what does Krishna do? He sits in front of Srimati Radhika and he himself starts swinging the swing very high, sometimes so high Krishna does. And then Radharani, she sees, okay, so high up in the sky, then she embraces Krishna in this way. So all these different leelas take place. Also Holi. In Barsana, there is this festival where ladies, they take some sticks and they start beating these gopas who come from Nandagaon. It's called Latmar Holi. This is very famous in Rajmandal. They have these sticks, like not really beating, only like the men from Nandagaon, they have some shields to cover themselves, and the ladies, they beat them like this. Like gopis beating. Latmar. But Gurudev didn't like this. He said, holy should be what? Holy means you're covering each other with this color of anurag, with this red powder. But rather than covering each other with anurag, if you're beating each other, then where is the mood of holy? Because Gurudev is very fussy Vaishnava. He's always saying should go deep. But nowadays this is what is happening there. In Barsana, Nandagaon, Latmar. So anyhow, all these festivals are very much celebrated there in Barsana. So, therefore, Brahma, he assumed the form of a hill at this place in Braj and fulfilled his cherished desire. So then Brahma, he became Brahma Parvat. So then pastime places in the area of Barsana. So the parikrama of Barsana is 4 miles long. Very beautiful parikrama. If you go Barsana parikrama, you climb up the hill, this Man Mandir, you go up on top, you have such a nice darshan of the land below. From top you can see the entire place. You can also see Nandagaon from top. If you go right on top of the hill, you can see Nandagaon from there. And if you go on top of this temple which is in Nandagaon, you can see Barsana. Why? This way Radha and Krishna, they're going right on top of the hill and they're seeing each other. This way, thinking when will we meet? When will we meet? They have this utkanta, this intense longing. So according to the Padma Puran, there are 2 hills that face each other. One is Vishnu Parvat and the other is Brahma Parvat. Vishnu Parvat is on the left and Brahma Parvat is on the right. Now, if you pass through Sakriko, you can see there's one mountain to the right, one mountain to the left. And they're not the same mountain. If you see, the mountain to the left is very dark in color. And the mountain to the right is fair complexion. So that is Brahma Parvat, the mountain to the right. And the mountain to the left is Krishna Parvat. And sometimes Gurudev, he'd speak Harikatha there, he'd see some devotees sitting on Brahma Parvat and some devotees sitting on Vishnu Parvat. And he'd say, oh, the devotees who are sitting on this side, they're on the side of Srimati Radhika. And the devotees sitting on that side are on the side of Sri Krishna. This way Gurudev would teach them. So in this way, even Vishnu himself, he desired that Radharani perform all the leelas there. And then, in this way, on the lower side of the hill is the palace of Mahārāja Vrishabhanu, where one can have darshan of Vrishabhanu Mahārāja, Kirtida Devi, Sri Dhama and Srimati Radhika. Nearby is a temple of Lalita, in which one can have darshan of Radhika along with 9 Sakhis. Also on top of Brahma Parvat are Dan Mandir, the place of a swing indoor. Mayurkuti. Mayurkuti means once Radharani was in Maan and Krishna, he dressed as a peacock. He dressed as a peacock and then Radharani, she dressed as a peahen. And this way, as a peacock and peahen, they started dancing with each other. This is called Mayurkuti. This place is also present there. So in this way, also on top of Brahma Parvat are Dan Mandir. And within Kevar one are Radha Sarovar and a Ras Mandal. And nearby is Togani Kunda. Very close to this kunda is Mayur Sarovar, which is constructed by Chitralekha. So who is Chitralekha? Radharani is very dear Sakhi. Chitra Sakhi's birthplace is right near Barsana. It's called Chikshauli. It's only maybe 500 meters from Radharani's birthplace. If you go there, you can see a very beautiful temple is there right now. Very nice temple is constructed there. And there you can have darshan of Radha and Krishna and Chitra Sakhi. See, Chitra Sakhi, she's serving Radharani in so many different ways. She's painting all these different pictures of Krishna. And every time Radharani sees one picture of Krishna, she asks her Sakhi, who is this person? This boy, this beautiful boy. And Chitra Sakhi is saying, just now I showed who this boy is. And again you're asking. She says, this is the nature of seeing this boy. That once I see him and again I see another picture, I feel that I'm seeing another different person altogether. Like once, Radharani, she told Lalita, oh Lalite, I'm very unchaste. And Lalita said, why? Then Radharani said, I'm attracted to 3 different personalities. And Lalita said, how is that? And Radharani said, one person is playing the flute. And when the sound of the flute enters my ears, I become very attracted. That is one personality. And who is the second personality? Oh, Chitra, she painted one picture of this blackish boy. Seeing him, I became very attracted. So I'm attracted to the second personality. And who is the third personality? Lalita asked. Third personality is this person who bears the name Krishna. When these 2 syllables, Krishna, enter my ears, I become stupefied, I become completely bewildered. So this way I'm attracted to 3 different personalities. How am I chaste? And Lalita says, oh, those 3 different personalities are the same person. That is Krishna himself. Why are you attracted? You're not attracted to 3 different people. You're attracted to the same person. No, this is the nature of brain. That the lover, the beloved is experienced in newer and newer ways. This is called the stage of Anurag. Anurag means even though Radha and Krishna have seen each other, still the very next moment they feel they're seeing each other for the first time. No. This is how the bhajan of a sadhak remains fresh. Or else you see, sometimes devotees are practicing devotional life for so many years, chanting, doing many different services, but still sometimes they think, oh, I've been chanting for so many years, but still no advancement. But if one's sadhan, bhajan is very fresh, newer and newer, then you'll feel that although I've done sadhan so many years, still I have to do so much more, so much more. And this is gradually advancing more and more, more and more. So this is very important to feel that enthusiasm, that zeal, that oh, I have to. And bhajan is manifesting in newer and newer ways. No? Like you see, even our Guru work also, when they read books, when they read class, they themselves say that although we're reading the same books again, the same chapters again, still newer and newer realizations are appearing in our hearts. Although we're reading the same thing again. No, the other day Prabhuji was saying in class, no, that when I read about this Katyayani Vrat in Gopal Champu, in Vrndavana Champu, in the Bhagavatam, in Ujjal Nigamani, although I've been reading all these chapters every year, for so many years, 30, 40 years, still every year I read them, I get newer and newer realizations, revelations. No, this is the nature of bhajan. No, one is always enthusiastic and is empowered by such spurtis. So in this way, there is Vrishabhanu Kund there, right near this temple. So what happened in Vrishabhanu Kund? There, Srimati Radhika, she was born in 2 ways, according to 2 different kalpas, millenniums. In one kalpa, she was born directly from the womb of Kirtida, Radharani, directly from the womb. And in another kalpa, how was she born? She was born when she appeared on this 1,000-petaled golden lotus. When she appeared in that form, she was born there. How? Like we know that story. No, Putana, she was sent out by Kansa to kill all the newborn babies who were born within 2 or 3 days. When she wanted to kill the babies of Vindhyachal, then Vindhyachal's guru, Agastya Rishi, he chanted some Kavach mantras and he protected all the babies. Putana, gradually she fell asleep and different babies appear on different parts of Rajmandal. So Vrndavana Kunj is there. And then there is Sakri Kaur. So the narrow passageway lies between Brahma Parvat and Vishnu Parvat. And both Gopas and Gopis would make their way along it. So after milking the cows, the Gopas would carry the milk on a bamboo stick with ropes attached to each end for carrying loads. So what would they do? There would be a bamboo stick. And they tie one pot on one end and one more pot on one end, and they would carry it like this. Even now you can see in Rajmandal, many people they carry these pots like this. So these Gopas, they would use this pathway to cross from one side of the hill to the other. Krishna, he would plunder the milk, yogurt and butter of the Gopis here. So even the Gopis, sometimes they would carry some pots of butter on their heads, and Krishna sometimes would take everything by force. So every year in the month of Bhadra, on Shukla Trayodashi, Budi Leela is enacted here. Means all the Rajvasis, they enact this pastime of Krishna asking butter from the Gopis. And who manifested this Leela? His name is Narayan Bhatta. So Narayan Bhatta is a great Vaishnava. He is in the line of Nimbarkacharya, Nimbaditya. So he is credited with manifesting many pastime places of Rajmandal. This deity of Radharani that you see in Barsana, that is actually manifested by Shri Narayan Bhatta. Narayan Bhatta, where did he do bhajan? He did bhajan in Uchagaon, where? In this place where Baladev Prabhu's temple is present. If you go to Uchagaon, if you go to Lalita Devi's temple, and then you gradually come down, there is a temple of Baladev there. So in that temple of Baladev, Narayan Bhatta, he used to do bhajan. And in that same temple of Baladev Prabhu, Gurudev, he was given this title, Yugacharya. All the Brajavasis, they came and they did a Pushpa Abhishek of Srila Gurudev. They put some flowers on him, they gave him this title, Yugacharya. So Narayan Bhatta, he is great Vaishnava who performed bhajan in that very place. So at this Dan Gati, Sri Krishna and his Gopa friends would become tax collectors, and they would demand milk, yogurt and butter as toll tax from the Gopis. And when the Gopis refused to give any tax, Krishna would forcibly take and drink all their milk and eat their butter. So the Gopis, being tired of these daily encounters, decided one day to retaliate strongly. They decided that on a chosen day, they would all hide in the caves and dense kunjas on the hill on both sides of the narrow pathway. So here you see there's Brahma Parvat on one side, Vishnu Parvat on one side. There are many caves inside. Even now these caves are present. Don't think that these caves don't exist. Even now they are present. In fact, Gurudev was saying, inside Giriraj, if you enter one cave, you can come out all the way in Rajasthan. Like 60 kilometers you can cover if you enter one cave. And also it is said that some sadhus, they entered inside some of these caves and they never came back. No one knows what happened to these sadhus. Because the caves inside Giriraj are so huge. Some who have gone inside and not even come out. You get lost. You go inside these caves and darkness everywhere. What can you see? You can't find your way out again. In this way, like even our Sajjan Mahārāja, he was also saying that he went to this one particular cave with a torchlight, and he started crawling inside one cave. And the more he started entering inside the cave, the more deeper and deeper it was becoming. He himself, you can ask him. He had this torchlight and he was going, and it was becoming deeper and deeper. And then he was like, the more he was crawling, and then gradually he started standing up. But then as he was about to go deeper, his torchlight ran out. The battery in his torchlight, and he had to turn back. You see, such caves are present in Giriraj even now. So even now, the sadhus, there are some who perform bhajan there. So in this way, in Brahma Parvat and Vishnu Parvat, all the gopis, they hid themselves. And then, what do? Their plan was that the moment Krishna and his sakhas would stop them and try to take away their milk, the gopis would call out to their friends and they would at once come out from their caves. Then under the leadership of Lalita, they would teach Krishna and his sakhas a good lesson. And it so happened that the next day, thousands and thousands of gopis divided into groups and hid themselves in the dense kunjas and large caves around Sakriko. Then, as usual, a few gopis placed pots of milk and yogurt on their heads and then made their way towards Sakriko. So then the gopis, some of them, they took some pots of yogurt on their head and they started to gradually go towards this narrow passageway. So then Krishna, Madhumangal and the other sakhas obstructed their path and they forcibly began to take away their milk and yogurt. At once, these gopis signaled the gopis who were hiding and a wonderful pastime took place. 5 to 10 gopis forcefully caught hold of Krishna. Another 5 to 10 caught hold of Madhumangal. And some other gopis captured Subal, Arjuna, Lavanga and all the other sakhas. They slapped their cheeks till they were swollen. Slapping continuously. And then they tied their shika on the back of their heads to the branches of trees. So the shika they tied to the branches of the trees and they asked them, what pleasure is there in stealing our yogurt? Will you ever do it again? And Madhumangal, he folded his hands and he fell at the feet of Lalita. He said, oh, I was very hungry. I'm a greedy Brahmin. Please forgive me. Somehow this Krishna, he's a big cheater. And in his association, I also became like him. So please forgive me. He fell at the feet of Lalita. So I shall never do this again, he said. Then Srimati Radhika and Vishaka and other gopis, they captured Krishna. They slapped his cheeks a few times. Can you imagine? They're slapping God himself, Krishna himself. Can you ever imagine this in any other expansion or incarnation? Once Ram and Sita, they were walking in the forest and one thorn entered Sita's feet. But Ram, did he ever catch Sita's feet and take her feet on her lap and remove the thorn? He didn't do this. When Sita saw that the thorn had entered her feet, immediately she sat down and she took the thorn out herself. She didn't make Ram touch her feet, and neither would have Ram touched her feet. Because Ram is Maryada Purushottam. Do you ever hear Narayan behaving this way with Lakshmi? Never. Lakshmi is always massaging Narayan's feet. But here you see Radharani slapping Krishna left and right. Who is Krishna? He is the origin. He is the Mool Avatari. He is the very root of Ram, Vishnu, Nrsimha, Vaman, everyone. And here Radharani is slapping him left and right, left and right. So see here. This is this Leela, where Krishna being bound by the love of his gopis, he's even agreeing to be slapped by them. Yashoda, she kissed Krishna's ears, God himself. And then what did they do? They then forcibly dressed him like a woman with a blouse and a skirt. Can you imagine? See here. See how they've controlled God by their brain, that they're dressing him as a woman. They even put vermilion on the parting of his hair. So married ladies, they put some red powder on the parting of their hair to signify that they're married. So then they took some vermilion and they put it on the parting of Krishna's hair. They put bangles on his arms, anklets on his feet, and so on. This is they're putting bangles, anklets, and all these things. But we must be careful not to misunderstand these pastimes. There are certain devotees who think that Krishna dressed as a woman, so there is also some concession for us. We can also dress as women. So we must be careful. This should also not happen. These are transcendental leelas. They have nothing to do with the mundane material world. So then this way, they covered half his face with a wheel and placed a pot with yogurt on his head. And they began to make fun of him by demanding tax on the yogurt. And then from the top of the hill, Lalita Sakhi, she took a stone and she threw it with a pot of yogurt on Krishna's head, breaking it. And then this way, his whole body, full body Abhishek. Now you can imagine, sometimes the pujari, he is doing Abhishek here of Krishna, uttering so many mantras. He's saying this mantra, this mantra. From Archan Deepika, so many mantras he's uttering. But here you see what Abhishek they are doing here. Lalita standing from a distance and throwing stone on Krishna. And she's doing full body Abhishek. And here the pujaris are also doing Abhishek, this, that. But Krishna, how happy he is at this kind of Abhishek. No, this way. So all the Sakhis, they began to laugh and clap. And Shyam Krishna, he became very ashamed. Then they asked him, will you dare to demand tax on a yogurt ever again? They asked, hold your ears and promise, from today I will never try to take the gopis' yogurt. And then they said they forced Krishna to repeat this. So in this way, this is one place, Sakriko. And then there is Dhanghar. So Dhanghar is like, you see Brahma, his 4 heads have become like all these different 4 pastime places where Radharani performs the Leelas. So another place is called Dhanghar. So what happened here? One day Krishna and Subal, they were sitting here as tax collectors. They were awaiting the arrival of Srimati Radhika and her friends. Upon seeing Radharani, Krishna, he stopped her and he rebuked her, saying, who are you? Where are you going? Radharani said, you don't know who I am. And Krishna and Subal, again they stopped her. And Krishna said, don't you know that I have been appointed by the king to collect taxes here? Every day you are carelessly walking through here and you never pay tax. Pay tax and then go. And Vishaka said, this is Radhika's kingdom. Radharani, she is Vrindavaneshwari, not anyone else. So you become a tax collector without receiving her permission. So your offense is inexcusable and for it you must suffer. And Shri Krishna replied, don't talk so disrespectfully. Kandarpadev is the king of this place, Cupid. Every day you come and go through here, carrying various expensive things, but you never pay any tax. So therefore this has made Mahārāja Kandarpa, Cupid, very angry, and he has sent me here. So what is Krishna implying here? What is he implying? It means he's saying that Cupid, this prem is making me act this way with all of you. This prem that we share between each other. So hearing Krishna's words, Vishaka replied, what can your king do? Our queen is Vrindavaneshwari, the queen of Vrindavan. If you see Barsana, Nandagaon, Govardhan, they are all part of Vrindavan actually. It's called Brihat Vrindavan. The Vrindavan we see around us, which we do parikrama every day, is called Panchakosi Vrindavan. And that is called Sola Coast Vrindavan. Panchakosi means it's like 15 kilometers. And Sola Coast means that's like nearly 30, 35, 50 kilometers. It's called Brihat Vrindavan there. So therefore, Vishaka is saying, we know who you are. Your pride is shattered to pieces by the arrow-like sidelong glance of Srimati Radhika. So the gopis are saying that although you claim that you are great, still we see you become so proud. But still we see that you are proud, that your pride is shattered to pieces just when our Saki looks at you. So how are you great? You are not so great, you are very insignificant, they are saying. So having said this, all the Sakis, they moved forward. And they kept Radharani in the front. They told Radharani, go, don't be scared of this boy. And Krishna stepped forward and stood in the middle. And then he said, oh women of Braj, you cross this place daily, hiding various jewels. Today you must give tax on these jewels, Krishna said. And after such joking words and laughter, Radha and Krishna, they enjoyed various pastimes in a solitary grove. So there's so many different places there in Barsana, like Mangar. So here you see once Radharani, she was in great Man. Why? Because when he wanted to meet, when Krishna was on his way to meet Radharani, suddenly he met Chandravali. No, Padma, Chandravali's friend. And Padma, she told Krishna that my Saki Chandravali is suffering so much in separation from you. Please come to meet her. So Krishna said, all right. Then he went to Chandravali's Kunja. He stayed there for some time. However, he became so absorbed with Chandravali that he forgot that he was supposed to meet Radharani at one particular time. So then, one of Radharani's trained female parrots, they arrived on a tree and on the same Kunja. And then the parrot saw Chandravali and Krishna together. And the parrot returned to Radharani and said, oh, your Krishna is there with Chandravali in this Kunja. And Radharani, she became deeply absorbed in Man. And then within her heart, she said, I will never speak to this Krishna again. And then when finally Krishna arrived, Radharani, she turned her face away from him. Don't show your face, go away from here. So then Krishna tried so many ways to please her, but she would not agree. So then Krishna, he fell at the feet of Vishaka, saying, oh, please help me. How can I break Radharani's man? he went to Srimati Radhika together with Vishaka, who introduced this new Sakhi as Shyama Sakhi. So Vishaka, she dressed Krishna as a gopi, and she took Krishna to Radharani. Like the other day, we had darshan of Krishna as Shyama Sakhi. So Vishaka, she praised Shyama Sakhi's qualities to Radharani, saying, "Oh Radhe, this new Sakhi can play on your veena so nicely. Give your veena to her." So Radharani has this veena, stringed instrument. No, she plays on it, Kachapi veena. So she gave this veena to this new Sakhi, Shyama Sakhi. It's Krishna himself, dressed as a woman. So then Krishna, he received this veena of Radharani and he started playing on it very nicely. And then she was singing very nicely also, Krishna. Radharani was thinking, who is this? Then Krishna, he touched Radharani. Immediately she realized, oh, this is that same cheater. And that's why she started laughing. And her man was broken in this way. So all these different leelas are there. Mayur Kuti, Vilaskar, Radha and Rani. Vilaskar is a place when Radharani was a child, she was playing on the dust with her Sakhis. When Krishna suddenly arrived, the Sakhis told Krishna, don't come here. Krishna entered by force. And then what happened? There was a huge dust storm. And everyone's eyes were covered with dust. And then nothing could be seen anywhere. And then the Sakhis covered their eyes with their hands. So much dust entering our eyes. What can we see? We can see nothing. So then what did Krishna do? Immediately, he took this opportunity to embrace Radharani and he kissed her face. So this was the first time Radha and Krishna met in Vilaskar in Barsana. They had their first intimate meeting where this dust storm came, everyone's eyes were covered with dust, and Krishna embraced Radharani and kissed her. So this pastime took place at the time of Vayosandhi, means the period between childhood and youth. So today there's a beautiful temple situated there also. So in the Bharat Puran it says, I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna in the form of He, who performs lovely pastimes. He performs these pastimes simply to give pleasure to who? To the Sakhis, to the Gopis in this way. So in this way there are so many different places of Rajmandal filled with all these Leelas of Radha and Krishna, all their pastimes. So if we really want to make advancement, then under the guidance of Sri Hari Guru Vaishnavas, we should go to all these Leelas and sincerely pray there that these Leelas manifest in our hearts. So everyone is tired now, we'll stop here and then pray that these Leelas someday, in some life or another, we become part of these Leelas and make our lives successful.